the world. Welcome back to our lair. Dylan's getting a little muffler. Now, folks, today in the Wildwood Lair, not the Wildwood Lair, we're in the Fishman Lair today. My brain, it hurts. We're doing Fishman Live, and I'm plugged actually into, I've plugged in my Fishman Aura, Spectrum Aura preamp, which allows me to get some delicious virtual imaging going on, along with the sound of my Under the Saddle pickup, which is a Fishman Matrix Infinity. And it sounds pretty doggone good right now. So I have a little bit of, I got about 10 o'clock worth of the image in there. And I'm on the orchestra setting the number 5 position on the rotary knob for the different images. Woo! That feels so good. What do you got there? You look like you got a bandage. Dylan's got a bandage working. I'm going to turn on my ability to be able to see the doggone comments. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm going to put that on right now. Restream chat has been engaged. Right now, folks, we're going live on the Fishman Facebook page, my Greg Koch Music Facebook page, the Fishman YouTube channel, and my Greg Koch channel on YouTube, which if you don't belong to, doggone it, what are you waiting for? Sign up. Hey, folks, what's going on out there? Jody Tater. We've got Huber Heights, Dayton, Ohio in the house. Jeff Colsar, we missed you too. We're back. All right, diggity dog it. From Naples, Florida. Well, all right. Whoa. Let us know your questions, indeed. That would be a good thing. For some reason, your snare is making the guitar feedback. It's so bizarre. Yes, Dylan has returned. He's back in the lair. An acoustic 265, Mike Whitty. I like that kind of talk. I think I'm down for that. This is a song called 265. And it's from the Strat's Got Your Tongue record. Let's try that. Can you dig it? Can and will you dig it? Woo! How y'all doing out there? You all right? Behold the mighty power of feet. Was it feeding back? Thank you very much, Mike. Yeah, that's a little tune of mine called 265, ladies and gentlemen. Some people ask about the chording techniques involved in that particular song. Sometimes I like to share, because I'm a sharing soul, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan, could you just turn off your snare just for a second? Because it's driving me crazy. Crazy. Anyway, so this tune is an A. I actually came up with this tune years and years ago. It's one of the first tunes we did with the band. And I do this thing where I harmonize I guess it'd be an A mixolydian scale with triads. And so I have the A, excuse me, I'm burping up something. Dylan, what do we have for lunch? I can't remember. Something that's revisiting. Thanks, lunch. Anyway, so I'm vamping on the A string, and I'm doing a little G triad up here. All these little chords I'm doing are on the D string, G string, and B string. So I got a G triad, and I got an F sharp minor triad. I got an E minor. I got an A major. I got an A7, just because it's the tonic, so I threw the 7 there. And then a B minor. Back down to the A ski. And so for those chords, so I made up the head, it's like. That's a little thing where I go A7, C diminished, B half diminished down to A. Or back up again. Okay? So those little chords you can do any which way from Tuesday. So you're just vamping on like an A, you know. And then learn them in different. Ha! See what I'm saying? You can always engage in any of that kind of activity. Can you dig it? What Martin is that? It's a 00028. You are correct, Craig. It is a reimagined 00028 from our friends at Martin with a factory install Fishman Matrix Infinity VT pickup under the saddle. And I'm going through a Fishman Spectrum Aura DI, which allows me to add some imaging. It's like mic emulation technology. So I add that a little bit to the sound, blend it in, just adds a little air around the notes. And then I'm going into the Loudbox Performer by our friends at Fishman. And I'm in EQ's pretty all at noon. I got a little bit of reverb on and just a hair of slapback, just a very small amount. Can you dig it? Will you dig it? Alrighty then. It's always good to do an obligatory blues, I think. Just a really nice little blues for the kids. Coffee, ladies and gentlemen. It's doggone delicious. We got Austin, Texas in the house. I like it. What age do you think it's appropriate to start a youngster playing guitar? Well, Tom, that's a hard one because if you can't make them do it, and they got to be bugging you. I know I bugged the bejesus out of my dad. He's like, come on, Dad. I want to play the guitar. And he's like, let's do a quick recap. You wanted to play the cello. Disaster. You wanted to play the percussion kit with the bells. That was a nightmare. Now you're saying you want to play guitar. I don't believe you. You're a liar, child. He called me a liar, child. Actually, he didn't. I'm making that up. But he was highly skeptical of me playing the guitar with the fortitude necessary to achieve whatever was supposed to be achieved. So I borrowed a guitar from the gal up the street, and I learned this chord, the A chord. And I remember I was obsessed once I learned this chord. I go. If you wanna get down, oh, down on the ground, one chord. If you got that loose, you better tap that caboose, one chord. And then I tried everything I do with that one chord, and I was bugging my dad so much. He's like, okay, all right, I get it. And then I started to take lessons and had my little instruction book that I used, and I would put a little timer on in the kitchen. I was around 12 years old at this point in time, which seems to be a pretty popular time for when puberty hits, the desire to rock really manifests because everyone's trying to figure out who they are. What are they going to do? Are they going to be a sportsman? You're going to be a sportsman or sports person? Are you going to be a musician? Are you going to be, whatever you're going to be? And I was like, I'm going to be a pagan rock warlord, Dad. Give me some lessons. And so I started to go see an old gentleman by the name of Harry Bauer. Harry Bauer was in a band called the Steve Swedish Orchestra here in beautiful Milwaukee, which was, I guess you'd call it a society band. And Harry Bauer played the guitar, the banjo, the mandolin, the bass in the Steve Swedish Orchestra, whatever was necessary of a stringed variety. He was a plumber by day, I think. Plumber by day, multi-instrumentalist at night. And I took lessons from him for about 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, he came back to my dad. He's like, I've taught him all I know. He needs to move on. So then I was like, see, Dad, I told you, my desire was real. Thank you. What girl up the street, Keith Wolf? It was Sharon Cullen. Sharon Cullen had a El Degas acoustic guitar, nylon string guitar. John Petroff across the street taught me my first couple chords as well. As did Mark Tyson. Somewhere in those guys taught me my first couple chords, and away I went. And then up and away. Up and away. Yeah. Can you dig it? Solar cane. Yes. Solar cane was an effective combatant against the sunburn back in the day. And then you let it dry out. You chopped it up into some tasty lines, and you snorted it up. No, I'm just kidding. That's not real. That's not real. None of that happened. Does part of your magic come from your hats? I'm a bald man, and I'm wondering if a new headwear could help me playing. Well, Chris, I'm going to tell you what. I've said this many times. I wear my hats because I have a pretty pronounced third eye, which if I was to unleash it right now, would stare right into your soul and sear it. So it's actually a kind of a public service thing that I wear these hats during these broadcasts as to not to sear souls. Right, Dylan? So that's why I wear the hats. So is that where the power comes from? Well, indirectly, because the third eye, of course, sees all. And it's an interdimensional portal, really, gazer. Portal gazer. Congratulations, you've reached 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Well, thank you, Restream. That's a great message. Richard asks, how about a purple Gristlemanster? We do have a purple Gristlemanster. Those are available to one and all. There's only two colors that are only available at Wildwood. I think overseas they may be available at like Merchant City Guitars as well. But the black one with the larger neck profile of the Gristlemasters with the Fishman Fluence Gristle-tone pickups for Telecaster or for T-style guitars, as we like to say, to be politically astute. But the purple ones are part of the standard offerings that are available everywhere. So you can get the Blucifer, which is one I'm going to grab in a moment. There is the Wow Red, or I like to call it Party Red because I like to party within reason. And then there's the Pow Yellow, Pow, Wow. And then there's the Axis Purple. And then, of course, there's the Clockwork Orange, one of my personal favorite tone hues. That's only available at Wildwood, and that is also only is available with a. All the guitars have a roasted maple neck, but you can get a Palfaro fingerboard as well at Wildwood. That's a special run they have. So, can you dig it? I like to say Palfaro. Do you know any Italian songs? I'm sorry, I do not. Other than Allora. Who's your biggest blues influence? I would have to say Albert King, B.B. King, Albert Collins, guitar-wise. I listened to a lot of old Mudster back in the day. Muddy and Howlin' Wolf, and I still listen to that stuff, doggone it. Earl Hooker, Your Friendly Neighborhood, Otis Rush. Anyway, I'm going to switch to the electric guitar right now. Any gigs forthcoming or still dealing with the pestilence repercussions? Rick, that is an excellent question. There have been some things rebooked. Boy, it sure seems like I just found out our European tour for the fall is not going to happen. I talked to Klaus, our manager, or not manager, our road manager / booking agent over in mainland Europe, and he said 9. Actually, he didn't say that. He said, I said, "Jawohl, mein Herr." I didn't say any of those things. I said to him, "What's the deal?" And he's like, "Well, the problem is that you can only have family members ride in a vehicle at this point in time, so that would be a problem. And then they only allow a certain amount of people in a club. So if you can only let 20 people in a club, well, needless to say, you're not going to make your nut. And then, which sounds kind of weird. And then if you cross from Germany to Austria or Austria to Italy, which we do all the time, you have to be quarantined for X amount of days in each country before you can do anything. So needless to say, that's not happening at this juncture. There are some things being booked. There's a thing in August that just got rebooked, which is at this festival down in kind of by Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And that, I guess, might happen. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But, I remain cautiously optimistic. I like Scotty Reeves. He says, "Are you sure the third eye just isn't a zit?" I don't think so. But let me tell you about a weird dream I had the other night. I'm just going to tell them about the weird dream. Okay? So I have this dream, and I walk a lot, right? So I walk, and occasionally my big toe hurts me for whatever reason. But nothing horrible. It doesn't stop me from walking. I walk. So I have this dream that my foot is bothering me. And I look down, and my tennis shoe looks like it's been mangled or run over. It's all kind of messed up. And I take off my shoe, and I take off my socks. And underneath the bottom of my foot, there's this giant, pulsating bump. And I'm like, what the hell? And I touch it, and out pops another toe in the middle of my foot. I don't know what that means, but it's pretty weird. But your zit third eye thing made me think of the toe in the middle of my foot. Sorry for that. But anyone who is a Freudian dream assessor, let me know on that. Okay, let me know what's happening. Spain is watching. I like it. Happiness is a warm gun, yes it is. Toe Jam football, exactly. Okay, what should we? Someone wants shaky ground again. Can't remember if I can remember all the words. Lady looking for a leaf clover. put me down. Standing on shaky ground. Ever since you put me down. My car got repossessed this morning. How many times I haven't seen in years. Think you better throw me a life preserver. 'Cause I'm about to drown in my own tears. Standing on shaky ground. Ever since you put me down. Standing on shaky ground. Ever since you put me down. repossessed this morning. How many times I haven't seen it yet. I think you better throw me a life preserver, 'cause I'm about to drown in my lot of different places. That went a lot of different places. This is an ES335 I got years ago. 2013, as a matter of fact. And I swapped out the pickups. These are the Fishman Fluence Classic humbuckers. And people have been wondering where I put the power, because these are pickups that demand a battery. There's a preamp and board. Gives you two different voices. I get the voices by grabbing the tone controls, the push-pulls, to unleash the second voice, unleash the power. The first voice is like a regular set lever, old school PAF. Sound magnificent. Anyways, the input for the mini USB charger is right underneath the pick guard there, see? Can you dig it? Wow, I forgot my own name halfway through that mad jam. A little dizzy now. That's a service we provide, Scott. We provide confusion. Confusion with the jams. Is that weird? I don't know. I can't speak to it. I am using my Koch amplifier, which is called the Greg. And I like it. What kind of cracking pickups? I like that kind of talk. Please have your son explain his kit. Explain your kit, Dylan.
I don't know if you can hear me with the mic. It's just a John Bonham style 26-inch bass drum, 14 by, I believe, a foot. It's 14-inch by 12-inch, yeah. And then a 16-inch bass or floor tom.
That's it.
Just Bonham sizes, maple kit.
And what kind of doggone snare drum is that?
This is a Gretsch Renowned snare drum.
The Gretsch Renowned snare drum. Crack, crack. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? As to the effects on the Greg amps, is it possible to access all by a foot switch? Yes. That's what I mean. That's all I have is right now is the foot switch. So I got the reverb on, obviously. That is the clean sound. I can add this delicious, lovely vibrato on there. I don't have the Neo Instruments ventilator plugged in. Back in the USSR, you don't know how lucky you are, boy. I still say the smaller future Koch amp should be called the Little Gregory. Wayne, you're funny. It is going to be called the Greg Jr. There is the Greg Jr. coming. So, for the kids. I like it. All right. How are we doing out there? How are we doing on the time? It's 4:36. We got plenty of time out there, folks. How about everybody doing out there? You all right? Rocky Mountain Way. Ooh. That one I can't do. That one you need a vice grips in order to sing. What kind of tubes are in the Greg? They are EL34s. Can you play Funk 49? Well, when I get the other guitar on, maybe I'll do a little bit of Funk 49. Like that, right? Play your favorite blues tune. Well, my favorite blues tune is of mine. Oh, my new Koch Black Greg arrived yesterday. Awesome. Oh, I like that, Jody. I like hearing that. favorites is the. I'm going down. My nose is in the sand. I'm going down, 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 babe. My nose is in the sand. A cloud of dust just come over me, and I feel like I'm drowning on dry land. Father warned me. He said, son, don't rush to be a man. My father tried to warn me. He said, son, don't rush to be a man. Lord, but I went on. And now I'm drowning on dry land. My mama told me a story about a dog who couldn't see too well. He was crossing the railroad track one day. The train cut off a piece of his tail. He turned around, but didn't bother to look up and down the rail, y'all. That dog lost his whole head, just looking for a little piece of tail. Yeah, yeah, I'm going down. My nose is in the sand. A cloud of dust has come over me, and I feel like I'm drowning on dry land. My nose is in the sand. I'm going down, 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 babe. My nose is in the sand. A cloud of dust just come over me, and I think I've been drowning on dry land. Can you dig it? Drowning on dry land. It'll happen to you. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. All right, I'm going to switch over to my... Again, this has the Fishman Fluence Classic humbuckers on board. Takes any humbucker type instrument and turns it into a damn weapon of love. A weapon of love. Weapon of love. Song called Weapon of Love. I liked it. What is your favorite non-guitar based music? Well, Graham, I do enjoy East Indian music quite a bit. I like to listen to Ravi Shankar and a variety of East Indian artists. And I do like to listen to, I like Horace Silver. I like to listen to Horace Silver. I was listening to a little Charlie Parker last night. A little Charles Parker. Hey, you dig it? You missed an opportunity to name those pickup fish sticks. You know, Elon, there's always time. Elon Mush. I don't think that's your real name. I think your name is Randy. Randy. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Lucifer. Let's not get carried away. I got in trouble the other day. Actually, it wasn't trouble. Charles Mingus is another one I like to listen to. Yes. I do. Yes. Eddie Harris, Cold Greg time. Oh, I see you. We could do a little Eddie Harris. That was a little freedom jazz dance into Funk 49, into a tune of mine called The Man Squatch Chronicles. That was off a record I did on Steve Vai's label years ago. The record was called Radio Free Gristle. You can't find it right now. We're going to reissue it. So it'll be out hopefully sooner than later. Can you dig it? All right, this is the time of the night. It's the right time of the night. Open up for some questions out there. You got some questions out there in movie land? You got some questions out there in movie land? My wife doesn't like it when I say movie land for some reason. Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. Dylan, your stare. Sorry, Sarah. I said movie time or movie land or whatever it is I say that annoys you. But that's not the only thing I say that annoys you. Poor Sarah. A song called Poor Sarah. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan rocked with us today with great vehemence and abandon. So get over there on pause my phone. Will you remaster it too? Asked Michael. You know what? We don't have the original tracks, which is very unfortunate. They were on a couple of hard drives that were out at Steve Vai's, and they disappeared. So that's fun. So I don't have the original tracks. I just have the original master. And we tried remastering the original master, and it sounded like #poop. So we're just going to keep it the way that it was and just say, you know what? That's the way it is. Diggity doggone it. Blues influence, Roger asks. Many different. I'm sorry, I'll get to that in a minute. In your guitar days, I often hear you quote Bellboy from Quadrophenia, or is that my imagination? No, you are right on the money. You are right on the money. New job and I'm newly born. Yeah, right. That's a good one. I don't know if that's the right key, but anyway. When will Poor Sarah be released? Oh, she's released, all right. The long-suffering gristle wife. Yes, true. Wah-wah preference, asked Roger. Roger, I think you were asking the other question that I was going to get to in a minute. Blues influence and wah-wah. Wah-wah preference, I have two that I really like. My favorite one that I'm using as of late is made by Jam Pedals of Greece. They have a thing called the Wacko. It sounds magnificent. It has a few different settings on it, but it sounds awesome. I can get the real deep wah and control it and do all that kind of fancy stuff that you hear Hendrix and Clapton doing back in the day, and you're always like, what's wrong with my wah pedal that I can't do that? Well, there's something about a wah pedal in front of a stack of Marshalls that behaves in a way that you can get a little bit of a bigger sweep, I believe. But the Jam pedal is able to give you that kind of flexibility. There's also a buddy of mine named Mike McConaughey out in the Washington, D.C. area, and he made a thing called the Makana Wah. That thing sounds unbelievable. So that's another good one. I value your playing. Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Blues influences. There's all kinds of different stuff that comes in the picture when I'm doing stuff. I do like those Albert King. Oh, that kind of Albert King, BB King. All kinds of different stuff. There's some. There's a million of them. I've listened to all kinds of different folks. So it's all in there. But when I'm playing in the momes, I'm just kind of listening to the weird voices in my head of where to go. So I might start off with like a. voices. I follow the voices. Do you still use the tone bender on tellies? The one with the strap? Oh, you mean the B bender? I do have a B bender guitar, but you know why I don't use it? There's some really cool tunes. I've got some tunes of mine that I wrote specifically for B bender. But for whatever reason, it's the right amount of weight in the wrong place. And if I play one of those things with any degree of vigor, about 24 hours later, I will have back spasms. I don't know what it is. It's the weirdest thing. So I stay clear of the B bender. Sorry, I didn't see your compliment. I appreciate it, whatever it was. Bless you. MSYF. Sorry about that. I didn't see it. I'm gonna go back here a little bit. I'm seeing all the different comments from all the different places on one thing from Restream. So, can you dig it? Billy Gibbons. Yes, I do love me some Billy. Every time you hear me do that, that's a Billy Gibbons. Your signature pickup sounds sick. Great tone. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I love them. I do love them. Phoenix shows, asked Joel. You know, Joel, when we get out and about again, we will definitely come back to the Phoenix area without question. However, so much is in doubt for the remainder of the year as far as playing out, traveling. We don't know what the heck's going to go on. It's a strange world right now. I'm remaining cautiously optimistic about the playing for the remainder of the year. But rest assured, if there is a feasible way to get out and start gigging again, Phoenix is on the list. We did have a fun gig down there. I'm spacing it where we played down there. It wasn't in Phoenix proper. It was in a suburb. But it was a fun room. The owner was great. What the hell was the name of the place? Cactus Jack's. Cactus Jack's. Well, that was a fun room. It's kind of a deadhead bar. Big old place. Good food. It was fun. It was a fun gig. Nice PA. They treated us great. It was good times. Did you ever get to New Orleans? Nick, that's an excellent question. We haven't been to New Orleans with a band ever. I was down there on my honeymoon. A year later, we were there for Jazz Fest. And then I was there. I did one of the National Guitar Summer Workshop things I did down there right before the hurricane, the bad one, Katrina. And so I haven't really been to New Orleans since then. So it's been a long time, which is a shame because I love New Orleans. Ooh. Did I ever play with SRV? No, I did not. I was a little too young. My buddy, one of my mentors at home here in the Milwaukee area was a gentleman by the name of Junior Brantley, great keyboard player and vocalist. He was in a band called Short Stuff back in the day. And then he was in the Fabulous Thunderbirds. He was in Room Full of Blues. I played with Jimmy Vaughn. Anyway, he was playing with the Fabulous Thunderbirds around 1986-ish, 86, 87. And for whatever reason, Reese couldn't make a gig with Stevie Ray Vaughan. So Stevie Ray asked Junior to play the gig. And Junior calls me up and he says, Greg, I don't have any of Stevie Ray Vaughan's records. Can I borrow yours to learn the songs? I said, you certainly can. And so he borrowed the records from me. I said, you can borrow the records to learn the stuff, but the only condition is you got to get them signed. So he took them, did the gig, and then he ended up leaving town. He ended up moving to, after he got done with the Fabulous Thunderbirds, he joined Room Full of Blues, so he lived out in Providence, Rhode Island. I didn't see Junior for years. And then like 15 years later, maybe Stevie Ray Vaughan had long since died. There was like a Milwaukee blues kind of who's who to get together. Hubert Sumlin lived in town, so he was on the gig, and then Junior and Jim Liben and Steve Cohen and the guys from Leroy Airmaster and I think Stokes, the whole gang. And so I show up and I see Junior, and I'm just glad to see Junior. I hadn't seen him in years. And he goes, Greg, I got your records. He used to call me Gregory. He goes, Gregory, I got your records. And I was like, no way. And so he gives me the records, and I'll show you the. Let's grab it over here for a second. I'm going to leave the screen for a moment as I get this record. Here's one of them. I have 2 records signed by Stevie Ray. And so my buddy Junior got the record for me. And I don't know if you can see this proper. I can't really see if you can see it. But it says, "To Greg, have a great life, Stevie Ray Vaughan." Is that weird or what? Have a great life. Well, I'm working on it. So far, so good, SRV. Can you dig it? Who sold more guitars than SRV? I don't know. You'd fit perfectly on the Jazz Fest stage. Got to get you down here. Man, I'd love to come down there and play. Hopefully when, you know what, Roger? We'll do one of those hooker boogie things next time. We're running out of time here. It's 5:05. But I will be back for the Fishman Takeover on Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. Also tomorrow, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do the Wildwood Takeover, and that's at 3 p.m. Central Time on all these same stations, with, of course, the exception of the Fishman station. I'll be actually on the Wildwood page instead, but I'm still on my Greg Koch music page and on my YouTube page. If you don't belong to my YouTube subscription, please sign up. I've been kind of I'm kind of lame on my YouTube stuff because all my videos go up on the Wildwood channel, and then of course people take videos of us playing God knows wherever, and those are on different stations, different channels all over YouTube. But I've been posting some stuff a little bit more regularly on my YouTube page. So if you're interested in that kind of activity, please sign up. Cool to hear you play. Cool to hear you talk about guitar. I could listen all day. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Les Paul sold more guitars than SRV. That's probably correct, Leland. You are correct. Lee, you are correct. That Eric Clapton Stratocaster has sold quite well. I have to say, that's been a long-standing selling morsel as well. Been digging the Gristletone pickups in my Gristlecaster for a couple months now. Fantastic pickups. Glad to hear it, Eric. Glad you're digging it. We are working on that new P90, which will be another signature pickup of mine with Fishman. It's going to be we voiced them. We got them all ready to go, and then we had to do one little last tweak. That's going to be done, and we're going to get those out to, hopefully the goal is, ladies and gentlemen, obviously everything is in flux because of the COVID situation. But I have a new Gristlemaster, or variation of the Gristlemaster guitar with Reverend, which is going to have the Fishman P90s in it, and it's magnificent. So that'll be coming out. We're going to try to get that out in the fall, but I know times are wasting, but I think we can get it done. Can you dig it? Any last questions out there in the internet land? It's 5:07. Do you know where your children are? They're raising hell. Last questions out there, folks, before I prepare a tasty dinner. Any gig Marvel team up with Eric Gales? I love Eric Gales. He's fantastic. We've played together at NAMM a couple times, and those videos seem to be very well received out there. But we've been buddies for a while. We always talk about maybe doing something. It just hasn't worked out yet, but we shall see. Your signature guitar is advertised as having jumbos, but I think they're 6105s, definitely. So, but I do love the guitar. Getting used to the thinner frets. Love your sound. Thank you very much. Also have the Gristle King pedal. It's the only effect I use now. Thank you. I love that pedal. It's fantastic. How about a trio jam with your organist? That's an excellent idea, Brad. I just talked to Toby the other day, and we're going to make that happen very soon. I think we're getting to the point where he can come down here from Minneapolis and engage in some Savage Song. Did you make Dylan sleep outside after he returned? Mark, that is an excellent question. It's such a weird time. If you're hanging out with people that have been quarantined themselves for a long period of time, and then you go up and visit those people, and you don't really go out, you don't hang out with other people, and you come back here. It's so hard. So no, he came in, he wore a mask for like an afternoon, and then it was just like, well, I guess if we have it, we have it. So I don't know. I guess I did the antibody test about a week and a half ago, and I haven't had it. So we shall see. Crazy. How evasive is the install of those pickups? You don't have to carve out anything. So, for instance, with my pickups, it does come with the control panel, but it retrofits inside a standard T-type cavity. Sounds weird. It fits in all tele bodies, basically. And then it comes with the insert here. So everything for the pickups is in this cavity here, as far as the preamp and the battery and all that other kind of stuff. And then this input jack has a little mini USB input where you plug into that rascal, and then the pickup. So it's not really anything you have to do as far as modifying the guitar at all, which is fantastic. Same thing with the humbuckers, the Strat pickups, and so on and so forth. Any news on the Greg combo amp? Yes, Lane. I did have a little conversation with the Koch amplifier people. There's actually going to be a few different iterations. There's going to be a Greg Jr., which will be a single 10-inch, not single 10, single 12. We're just kind of working through what it's all going to have on it. It can't have the harmonic vibrato, or else it'll be expensive and large like the other amp. Although we're working on maybe putting that stuff in a pedal. So there's a bunch of different products that are going to be coming out. There's going to be a smaller amp with less features. There's going to be a really small amp with just very minimal operation, kind of after that whole thing I've said for years is all I really want is an amp with one knob that says more. It won't have one knob, but it'll definitely say more on it. But yeah, and then we're working on maybe having that delicious harmonic vibrato that we got to sound so good on the larger amp, maybe having that available in pedal form along with the reverb. We're working on it. We're working on a bunch of different stuff. I would say that the two smaller amps are probably going to be coming out before the end of the year. Can you dig it? Eric says, I did have to widen the cavity a skosh to fit the control plate. I have heard that on rare occasion, that the bottoms are a little, sometimes aren't completely flush to the bottom, so you have to kind of route them out a little bit. But that's the exception rather than the rule. So, unless people are lying to me. What's for dinner? That's a good question. Sir, what are we having for dinner? I got a bunch of stuff from the grocery store today. And usually that's why our thing, we get together and we cook our great feasts together in the kitchen. My wife and I vigorously preparing a delicious repast. But when I'm doing these things, sometimes she doesn't wait, she just makes it. And I'm smelling some deliciousness right now. I think there was, I know where we're doing turkey burgers tonight. Pretzel buns, a delicious coleslaw salad that is made with ramen noodles and a delicious vinaigrette. And we're also going to add a little bit of bacon, ladies and gentlemen, to the turkey burger. I know that seems weird. Why would you go with a turkey burger with less fat and then just put bacon on it? The point is, because it's delicious. So right now I'm smelling a little bacon, smelling a little bit of God knows what, and so it's going to be fantastic, delicious. 9-volt. There is a 9-volt option for all the other pickups except for my set. The way that my set is designed, you have to go with, it comes with the control panel with the lithium-ion battery already in it. All the other pickups come with a 9-volt option. That 9-volt battery is going to last 300-ish hours per battery, per 9-volt, but you can also get a lithium-ion option for all those other guitars as well, and do that instead. Can you dig it? On the grill, you got it, Tommy. You got it. So dang delicious. Well, listen, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for your patience. We took last week off. Show sensitivity to this troubling time that we're in. So we are back this week, and we're here to rock with you. So can you dig it? Thanks for tuning in. Fishman Live with me, Gregory Stephen Koch, Esquire, and Dylan as well. We will see you again on this same portal on Friday. Thanks, folks. We'll see you later.